February 2018, the XF sat-nav may have diverted Andrew Ryan into more traffic, but AdBlue top-ups proved to be plain sailing. I'm a big fan of our long-term Jaguar XF, but I've spent more time in it over the past month than I would have liked. This was mainly down to one morning when a combination of high winds, closed roads, a broken railway crossing and the UK's largest agricultural and machinery show taking place just across from our office meant that my usual 1-hour commute instead took 3¾ hours. While the weather conditions and other unforeseen circumstances were obviously not the Jaguar's fault, the commute did remind me of an issue with the sat-nav system it had about a month earlier. On that occasion, I was heading home around the M25 when the overhead gantries told me a stretch of the motorway ahead was closed due to an accident. Unfortunately, the XF sat-nav didn't seem to know about this and, as there was no traffic build-up, treated it as open and clear. This meant that as soon as I turned off one junction earlier than I was meant to, all the sat-nav wanted to do was to reroute me back onto the closed motorway. I'd written this off as a one-off, but a similar event happened on the windy morning last month. This time 2 lorries had been blown over on the A47 near Wisbech, closing the 5-mile stretch entirely. Google Maps on my phone told me it was closed, but even an hour and a half into the road closure the sat-nav continued to say it was open. Even before this I found the traffic information to be unreliable, and this latest incident makes me trust it even less. The XF has now traveled just more than 8,000 miles and this has meant it has also needed its first AdBlue top-up. This was straightforward. The filler cap is positioned high up on the passenger side of the boot, and a 10-litre top-up pack £14 from a local filling station poured easily and spill-free into it. Andrew Ryan January 2018 winter driving is a doddle thanks to Jaguar XF's additional features, as Andrew Ryan discovered in his January test fleet update. Rear-wheel drive cars and icy or snowy conditions generally don't mix well. Front-wheel or four-wheel drive vehicles offer much better traction on slippery roads. This is, of course, because front-wheel drive cars tend to have the weight of the engine above the driven wheels, keeping them firmly planted on the ground. Rear-wheel drive cars usually have an empty boot above the driven wheels, meaning they struggle for traction much more than the front-wheel drive counterparts. The XF has a front-engined, rear-wheel drive configuration, but it has incorporated technology to minimize the risk of losing grip in slippery conditions. One of its 4 driving modes is rain, ice, snow. This setting automatically dampens acceleration and applies more gradual traction for slippery conditions. This makes the car's throttle response feel sluggish compared to when the car is in normal mode, but also makes it less likely the wheels will lose traction. On the few occasions I've switched to this mode in slippery conditions, traction has definitely improved. The XF is well equipped for cold weather motoring in a number of other ways. It is fitted with a heated front windscreen which makes de-icing the car an easy and quick task, while the heated rear windscreen automatically comes on with the ignition when the outside temperature drops below a certain level. Our test model is fitted with some pretty effective heated front seats. They are fiddly to operate as you have to use the infotainment system's touchscreen to switch them on and off as well as adjust the heat setting. It also takes a couple of minutes before you feel the heat coming through, but when it does, it is fierce, even on the lowest setting. It doesn't take long until I have to switch the heater off before it becomes uncomfortably hot. However, it does have a hidden benefit. The heated passenger seat is ideal for keeping food warm on the way home from the takeaway. Andrew Ryan December 2017. Our long-term Jaguar XF proved to be the perfect car for Andrew Ryan to take on his pre-Christmas visit to family in Ireland. The beginning of my spell in our long-term Jaguar XF has coincided with our annual pre-Christmas trip to see the Irish branch of the Ryan family, and I would have been hard-pressed to have found a car better suited to the task. One of the main purposes of the trip is to deliver Christmas presents to my older brother's family, and this makes the wish list for the round trip between my home in Norfolk and Dublin is simple. Ideally, the car we go across in should be large enough to accommodate presents, my parents and our luggage. It should be comfortable and well suited to motorway driving, and be fuel efficient to keep costs as low as possible. Here's how it measured up in those key areas: boot and interior space, as well our luggage. The boot needed to accommodate presents from me, my parents and my younger brother's family, as well as a number of parcels which my older brother had delivered to my parents instead of to him. Amazon offers a more restricted service in Ireland. At first glance it looked like we may have to carry some parcels on the back seats, but the 540-litre boot, identical in size to that the Mercedes-Benz E-Class and 20 litres larger than the BMW 5 Series, managed to swallow it all. Its shape is slightly compromised by an incline near the back of the rear seats which makes the boot shallower, but was nothing which careful packing could avoid. A wide boot opening also helped make loading and unloading straightforward. With the boot space test passed, the XF also breezed through the interior comfort challenge. Both my parents reported they had plenty of room with the seats, as Fleet News editor-in-chief Stephen Bryce has previously reported, providing plenty of support. Comfort motorway driving, again, the XF passed the test with flying colors. Over the total 650-mile journey, the XF proved to an exceptionally refined and smooth car to drive and ride in, particularly on trunk roads and motorways. Its ability as an effortless long-distance cruiser is enhanced further by the addition of the optional 525-pound blind spot and reverse traffic monitor, which provides extra reassurance about what other traffic is doing around the car. If it detects that a vehicle is in the blind spot, it displays an alert on the corresponding door mirror. If it detects that you are still moving towards the other vehicle, then it issues a further alert as well as providing resistance through the steering wheel to prevent a collision. The XF's parking sensors and camera system, which includes cameras front, back and both sides, making it easier to maneuver as well. Fuel efficiency: over the 652 miles covered across the long weekend, the XF achieved an average of 50.5 mpg. Official combined fuel economy, 65.7 mpg, which was excellent. On the way to Dublin I drove in the normal driving mode, and achieved an average of 48.4 mpg. For the way home, I switched to Eco mode, which encourages fuel-efficient driving as the noticeable resistance on the accelerator pedal makes quick responses impossible. As the overall fuel economy rose by around 2 mpg, it is reasonable to assume that the increase in fuel economy through using Eco was around 4 mpg, putting the average for this leg of the journey at mid-52 mpg. Overall, the XF performed well in all of the areas we needed to, making it an ideal companion for the Christmas delivery run. Andrew Ryan, November 2017. The Jaguar XF has a few annoying features, but the overall driver experience is excellent, as Stephen Bryce discovers. My default drive setting on the Jaguar XF has settled on normal. As noted in the first test, this offers the best balance of throttle response and efficiency. However, it has resulted in the fuel consumption levels slipping below 50 mpg. We were averaging close to 52 mpg, to 48.8 mpg. Clearly, my driving style benefits from the additional resistance on the accelerator provided by Eco, so when it comes to assessing the full efficiency potential of the car, I may need to concede and switch. The XF is a very comfortable car to spend time in. The pedals line up well, while the front seats are supportive, with excellent lumbar and side support, and good height adjustment. There is ample leg and headroom front and rear for adults. The outer rear seats have bolstered sides for additional support, which snugly hold passengers in place. However, they are a bit of a burden when attempting to belt in child seats, as the sides force the seat to overhang the buckle. Other negatives include an intrusive steering column when the wheel is in a lowered position. Cue banged near to when changing gear. Also, the middle seat in the back is raised, which makes for an awkward position. Despite these niggles, the overall driver experience is excellent. Particularly striking is the digital dashboard. The rev counter and speedometer numbers on the dials only come into view as the needle approaches them, which results in a clean and easily readable layout. October 2017. The Jaguar XF has many great options, but some are not suitable for fleets. After a slight delay, we originally expected the car to arrive 2 months earlier. Our new Jaguar XF long-termer has arrived. Why the delay? Due to the sheer volume of cars going through the order and prep process caused by rising customer demand for the September plate change. Our model year 18 car has undergone a minor refresh, largely consisting of additional optional equipment. These include safety features such as forward traffic detection and forward vehicle guidance, gesture boot opening, and a dual-view screen on the Touch Pro infotainment system, which allows the front passenger and driver to view different content simultaneously. There are also new Ingenium 2.0-litre petrol engines, 200 PS, 250 PS and 300 PS, but with emissions from 154 grams per kilometre. They're largely irrelevant for the fleet market, even as a high-level user choose a car. Ditto for the new 240 PS diesel with emissions of 139 grams per kilometre rear-wheel drive and 144 grams per kilometre front-wheel drive. Instead, we have the 2.0-litre 180 PS turbocharged Ingenium diesel engine in mid-range portfolio trim. Optional extras include blind spot and reverse traffic monitor £525 and parking assist pack with surround camera £1,690, increasing the base price from £37,510 to £48,770. As safety assistance systems, these are worthwhile additions. At a combined cost of £2,215, they will pay for themselves several times over if they prevent a serious crash. However, several additions are unnecessary from a fleet perspective, such as sunroof £990, 19-inch 7-split-spoke alloys £840, gesture boot lid £665, soft door close £505, digital TV £890 and Santorini black color £705. Our 6-speed manual, rear-wheel drive car has official fuel consumption of 65.7 mpg and CO2 emissions of 114 grams per kilometre. A quick peek at the Equality Index figures show real-world economy of 45.7 mpg, a 30% shortfall. We're currently averaging a more palatable 51.8 mpg. Initial thoughts are largely positive. The XF is spacious and comfortable. Handling is sharp and precise. Jaguar Drive Control allows the selection of eco, normal, dynamic, rain, ice, snow modes. The latter dampens acceleration and applies gradual traction in slippery conditions. The best option around town is normal due to the sharper throttle reaction. Dynamic sharpens this further and increases steering weighting. Eco encourages fuel-efficient driving but is best for motorway journeys. The noticeable resistance on the accelerator pedal makes quick responses impossible.